How to play the Elder Scrolls properly. Arena. So everyone, hello. Arena I've been playing for a little over a month now, and I have gained a lot of experience in terms of how to actually play the game from you viewers in the comments below, and also the local Wikipedia page. So I thought, there's not a lot of guides on Arena out there, so I'm going to show you a couple of tricks with Arena. So this episode will be dedicated to character building, particularly when you're first making your character. So we're going to be starting off with the selection of your class. So when you are faced with the character creation screen, you come across two options. You can either generate your class or select your own. Now I'm going to talk about generating your class first, where you're presented with 10 scenarios, each with a possibility 3 outcomes. I think it's the thief, the warrior and the mage. So each question you answer, you have to think quite carefully about it. But anyway, so you go through these 10 scenarios, and I won't go over them in much detail in this video, but if you want to check out what these 10 scenarios are, you can look at in the description of this video. I will label it class generator or scenarios, 10 scenarios, something like that, and you can use them to guide you in creating your class. Otherwise, so when you've gone through those 10 scenarios, you will come across this generated class for you, and you can either accept this class or you can choose your own, which is what I'm going to talk about now, which is selecting your class. When you're selecting your class, from the menu, you're given this menu, which has 18 built-in classes that one can simply scroll through and select. So I'm going to briefly explain to you what each of these classes do, and to better prepare you for the wilds of Tamriel. So we're going to begin with the thief classes. These classes allow you to pickpocket. Well, they improve your abilities to pickpocket, steal items, give you high agility, intelligence and speed. So if you're one that wants to be sort of a stealthy type character and avoid combat for pretty much most of it, this is the class for you. However, I must warn you that Arena does not have the same forgiveness as games later on in the series, such as Skyrim, where you will still have to wield a weapon every now and again to get through each dungeon and finish the main questline. So in these classes we have the Acrobat, Assassin, Bard, Burglar, Rogue and Thief. Now the two ones that I want to mention or highlight as probably the most interesting ones, that if you were going to select the class, is a Rogue, which has greater protection than the rest of the Thief classes, and you're allowed to use any weapon, but you're limited to purely leather armor, and you can't use magic. And the Bard, which allows you to use any weapon, you have to wear leather, but you can use magic. Now it's often regarded as a wild card, the Bard is. You can use all these things, you can pretty much wield whatever you want, but you should use it with caution. So anyway, moving on, we have the warrior classes, which include the archer, the barbarian, the knight, the monk, the ranger and the warrior. These classes are known for being the strongest in terms of how they're just the meaty types of people. You can wield hard armor, which helps you deflect hits. You can wield pretty much any weapon. Your HP is usually the highest in most of these classes. So of these classes, these warrior classes, I recommend either the archer, which is any weapon, and you can only wield light armor, but you have an increase in distance. So if you have an increase in damage long distance, your poison weaponry such as the longbow or the shortbow, and also slings. And the barbarian, on the other hand, has very high HP, the largest of all of these warrior classes, and is immune to poison. So if you find that you're spending so much money on curing your poisoned body in every dungeon that you go into, you just don't have the coin to get it fixed, the barbarian is a good choice for you. You can take high damage and you don't need to carry around things for poison. The knight is a very useful class because it uses any weapon or armor and is immune to paralysis, as well as the fact that it's got a special ability. It can repair its own armor. So you don't need to worry about spending all that gold on going to a blacksmith and getting him to repair your equipment and waiting 20 days for it to be repaired. You can get it. It just stay strong, and it's a very effective class. The ranger I would not recommend so much, but in the warrior you can, like all the other classes, use any weapon or armor. However, you cannot use magic. But the other downside to that is you can't rob houses. So if you want to level up quickly, I'd recommend going into the wilderness and going to random dungeons and fighting that way. But on the upside, it is one of the quickest to level up. So if you're this type of person that loves to progress through the game quickly, this is the best class for you. I personally chose the warrior class when I created my character for Dragonia in my Let's Play series. She is a warrior, dark elf or warrior, who at the time I was recommended to choose. Now at the time I didn't do any research into what the warrior class actually does, but I do like it because it can use any weapon or armor. I like how it's tanky. I like how you level up quickly, but I'm kind of bummed that I can't use magic or rob houses. So if I was to choose another character, I probably wouldn't go with warrior, but that's just my opinion. I'd probably go with the knight, or probably a thief build perhaps. But anyway, moving on. The next set of classes is the magic class, the mage class. We have the battle mage, the healer, the major, knight blade, the sorcerer, and the sellsword. Now, of most of these classes, I would not recommend them. The notable ones is the major, which I would not recommend because you cannot use a lot of weaponry. You're mainly stuck with either a dagger or a staff. But the upside, you have increased mage abilities, so you will use your magic anyway, and you're not allowed to wear armor. That's another downside. But on the other hand, you level very quickly, which is the quickest of the mage classes. The knight blade uses a combination of weaponry and magic. So if you're like me with the warrior class, you don't like the fact that you can't use magic and rob houses, this would be a good option for you, because you can use a combination. So you can heal yourself when you're in the middle of battle, and it's just very efficient. The sorcerer is quite similar to that class as well, and the sellsword. Nice balance of magic and melee in terms of its stats. So sellsword is another one to consider if you like that combination. So anyway, the next section of this guide, where we discuss your character creation, is choosing a name. Now I'm not going to go much into the detail of how you name your character, but if you want to, you can check out a link below which gives you some names which you can choose from if you're wanting to consult lore with naming your character based on its race. So anyway, moving on to races. There are 8 classes in Arena, and you don't have. One thing you have to note is there's no Nord class or Orc class. The Orcs are considered monsters in this game, so you cannot create your own. And the Nords, not the Nords, the what are they called? The people from Citadel. The Imperials. You can't create an Imperial character. That was introduced in later games. And another interesting thing to note is the Khajiit that you see in this game, also, they're not cats. They're people that dress like cats and have descended from a feline race. So anyway, we're going to start off with each race by outlining where they're from, so that will help you when you're selecting your character. So we're going to start off with Black March, which is for the Argonian, who is a reptilian race, who has increased intelligence, agility, and speed. They are fast swimmers, and they're good at magic and thievery, So this type of race would be good for one of the thieving classes. Moving on, we have the Khajiit from elsewhere, who are fair-skinned people descend from cats. They are expert climbers and very quick with their abilities, and they're very good at thievery as well. So once again, very good for thieving classes. Next we have Hammerfell with the Red Guard. These people are stocky and powerful, quick, strong. They are the best weapon users and are good at the blade and the shield, so they are perfect for a warrior class. Moving on, we have the Hierarch Breton. They are tall and dark-haired, intelligent, magic resistant, and good at magic, so it is recommended that you choose a mage class for this race, because they have resisted magic, and they are also good at magic, so they will have increased stats for that. Morrowind is for the Dark Elves, and for my own character Dragonia, she was a Dark Elf. They are tall and dark-skinned, strong, intelligent, and quick. They create swords, which are emit to magic. Their armour is usually a mixture of magic and hardened things. So their abilities would go towards probably like a Knight's Blade, which uses a variety of magic and weaponry. But they can also be warrior, mage, not so much a thievery class. And then we have these Nord with Skyrim. They are tall and fair-skinned, strong and hardy, resistant to cold, good at the blade and the shield. So they're quite similar to the Red Guard in a way, but the Red Guard is the better weapon user, but it's the Nord that is stronger and can take more damage. So it is recommended you can use probably the warrior class would better suit them, because you can wear hard armour, you can use your blade more effectively. Next we have Somerset Isles with the High Elves, who are tall and golden skinned peoples, intelligent, magical, immune to paralysis, and are effective at any arcane art. So these people would be perfect for a mage build. And finally, we have Valenwood with the Wood Elves, who are people of the forest, agile and quick, good with the bow, good at for all classes pretty much. They have a nice balance between all classes, so if you want to be an archer, this would probably be the best class for you, but otherwise, if you don't want to do that, you can still, they could even be mage class or thievery class, warrior class, it's really up to you. So, for the final part of this guide of how Arena operates, we have the stats themselves with the attributes. So, when you have selected your name, your class, your character, you're going to be introduced to the screen where you actually see your character and you can decide what it looks like. But also the strange things, which I'm going to call attributes. We have 8 attributes, I think. 8 attributes. We have strength, intelligence, willpower, agility, speed, endurance, personality, and luck. Now I'm going to quickly give you a rundown of what each of these attributes mean to help you better understand how this can improve your character build. With strength, this determines how strong your character is, the melee damage it deals to your opponents, the carry weight, jump distance, endurance, and fatigue. We have intelligence next, and that determines your smartness, your spell points, better prices, and how easily you'll pick a lock. Next we have the willpower, agility, metal toughness, resist spells, and just overall negotiate. Just how you negotiate with sellers and mental toughness. It's your overall cognitive abilities. Next we have agility, which determines your nimbleness, chances of hitting another opponent, how quickly you can steal something, how effectively you block attacks, just any of those things. Next we have your speed, which is how quickly you run, your movement in combat, just overall running. Next we have endurance, which determines your health points, your health and fatigue. Now this is important in battle because you don't want to just be you don't want to be knocked out quickly, you want to stand a chance. Next we have personality, which is how charming and socially accepted you are, and also determines when you actually sell things for a profit, which can be great if you're one who likes to go into dungeons, gather all the loot, and then sell them for gold. And finally we have luck. This determines your attacking and defending abilities, and also pickpocketing and barding. Now this is all I have to talk about today, in how you can better prepare yourself for the wilds of Tamriel in the Elder Scrolls Arena game. This is going to be the first in a series on my channel, so if you haven't already, subscribe and look out for me, because I'm definitely going to be making a video like this every single week. Till next time guys, and please let me know in the comments below how you found this guide. Did it help you in your character building, and what sort of class did you make? Please let me know, and I'll see you next time in the next episode. Peace out guys.